has actual student information. So that's why I'm using this test class. All right, so if you are brand new to Seesaw, you can just click on your name here at the top and you just click create new class. So, and you can have, now that we have Seesaw Premium, I think you can have like 100 classes. So you can basically create as many classes as you need. So to do that, you just click create new class. So when you create a new class, you're gonna have to do all of these little settings. And the settings are fairly straightforward. You can change them at any time. If you haven't yet, could everybody please mute your mics, just because sometimes we get feedback if people's mics aren't muted. So here's where you give your class a name, you specify your grade level, manage teachers. With our new premium version, you can have up to 20 co-teachers. And I know that for some schools that was an issue with the free version because you could only have one co-teacher. And depending how your school and you like to kind of set up your Seesaw environment, having up to 20 co-teachers could be helpful for you. And then you can give it a color and all that. I would say the #1 recommendation that I would implore you to consider is when you're setting it up, have your student sign-in mode be email Google. This is so much easier because we are a one-to-one with Chromebooks and because we're a Google district. This just makes the most sense. So choose email Google. That way when students sign into Seesaw and the app is pushed out to their Chromebooks, they just will sign in with Google. If you don't, you will need like a QR code that they scan every single time, or you'll need like a class code that they log in every single time. If you have already set up a class and it's set up the other way, but you would like to change it, please email me individually and I can help you through that process. Everything else is kind of like your own personal preference. Do you want to have students see each other's work, which normally is a yes? Do you want to have them like, comment, all that stuff? So this is all just kind of your personal preference. And you can switch it on and off as you kind of go through your class. Okay, so one thing I really want to mention is when you log in now, during this distance learning time, you will very prominently see these using Seesaw for home learning, get home learning codes. You do not need these. We do not need these. I wish it wasn't so prominently displayed because it sounds like you have to use them. But because we are having students sign in with Google, #1, and because all of our students have their own Chromebooks, #2, we don't need them. This is if you had kids like sign in with the QR code at school or a code, class code, and if they were using like parent shared devices. So you do not need these home learning codes. Students can log in and use Google or use Seesaw just like they would in your class. Okay. If you have questions about that, you can drop them in the chat or you can email me later. Okay. Also, everybody now is part of a school dashboard since we have the Seesaw Premium pilot. If you're not sure what school you're connected with, especially if you're a multi-school, you can click on your name in the corner and you can see down at the bottom, my little test teacher here is connected to Frost. If you have multiple schools, it doesn't really matter which school you're connected to because each school has these premium features. So if you have a question about that, just let me know later. All right, so let me show you, kind of go through some of the creative tools, especially the ones that now we have with premium. So I'm just going to access these premium or these creative tools, and students have these same options. So I'll just start with a drawing. So these tools here, they were upgraded last summer. So if you only saw Seesaw last year, this looks so much better. The whiteboard is bigger. You have more options for what to do. There's different backgrounds you can choose. You can add voice, text, all that stuff. But the thing now that we have access to with our premium features, one thing that we have access to is now we can make multi-page assignments. So normally you can just have like your one drawing and that's your one thing that you can submit. Now I can actually click down here where it says add page. I can actually have it be a multi-page assignment. So over here on the right, I can see now I have 3 pages. So that is something new, and that is something that we have with our premium version. Okay, I'm sure you can delete the page, yep, by just clicking on the 3 dots at the bottom. Okay, so that's one kind of major thing that we have with the Seesaw Premium. The other really major thing, which is super smart, and I hope they add it to the free version just because it's better for everyone, students can now, and you can now save your work as a draft. So usually if a student is making a Seesaw assignment and they have to leave, they either have to submit or they have to just stop. But now you can actually save as a draft. So students would just click Save as Draft, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. But I was saving it. I was doing it as a teacher. Okay, so those are the big main things: add page, draft. And then something else that we have access to in the premium feature is private comment. Now, Dara actually helped me understand exactly what this is. I just assumed that with this option for private comment, it was a way for a teacher to privately comment to a student. That's actually not the case. A private comment, like this is my little test student. The private comment here is the bubble with the T. So down here, it's a bubble with the T, and that's just in the premium version. What that allows you to do is to basically make a comment to yourself. Or if you have a co-teacher, the co-teacher can see that. The student will not see that. So maybe I would be like, she needs to work harder. You know, talk to her later. So it's kind of like a little comment that I'm making for myself for future reference as the teacher. Okay, so another thing, you can see, now this is my teacher account, and I'm clicked here on this student that's named Chrome Test 1, okay? And this is the student's work. So I can see that I've got 1 unapproved post. I can review it. Now, this is also new, and again, I love this feature because usually previously, you as a teacher, if you had to approve a post, you either had to approve it and let it go through, or you had to just delete it, and that just kind of deleted the entire thing. Now, you as a teacher have the option to send it back, and this pops it back into the student's Seesaw account as a draft that they then have to work on. So let's say I could either approve it, I could delete it. I can also, as a teacher, make a comment that the student will see. I could say, make sure you add your voice comment. So if they forgot something or they did something that they need to add, maybe I would make a comment and then I would send it back. Okay, so now as a teacher, all my stuff is finished. So something else I can see is if a student has saved an assignment as a draft, I can see that. So let's say I'm wondering, I wonder what Chrome Test 1 has been working on lately. So I can click on Chrome Test 1. Let's see. Oh. Actually, I'm going to flip to Chrome Test 1. So this is, I'm going to flip my screen now. Okay, so now I'm actually, if you look up in the upper left corner, I'm in the student account. So I've changed my screen and I'm now working from my Chrome Test 1 as a student. And I'm a student in this master test class. I'm just gonna refresh here. Okay, so when I was a teacher just now, I sent this specific assignment back as a draft. And so now I'm the student and I can see that my teacher has sent this back to me as a draft. Okay, so the draft is like a little orange banner at the top. And so I can see, oh, and my teacher added a little comment down here below. She said, make sure you add your voice comment. Okay, so now as a student, I know, oh, this is what I forgot to do. This is how I can improve it. So when the student wants to edit it, they click edit, maybe they record their voice comment. They could either save it again as a draft, or they could submit it. And now it says waiting for teacher approval. Okay, so this is kind of the flow of what it looks like to save as a draft, and then to submit, but then as a teacher send it back to students as a draft, and what students see. So again, this is a draft that I, as the student, made yesterday, and now I'm working on it again. I'm ready to continue. So I can click edit, and then maybe I add some more things to it. And then maybe I'll save it again as a draft, because I'm not quite finished with it. So I know this is something that a lot of teachers have been looking for, as a way for students maybe to work on something over a few days and not just kind of in one shot. I'm going to pause for just a minute and see if there's any questions about any of these creative tools or about the drafts or anything. So either questions or comments about how you have used it. I know I see faces in here, and I know a lot of you guys have already been using Seesaw. So feel free to unmute yourself and chime in. Has anybody used the multi-pages or the drafts at all?
Alicia, I use the multi-pages to
How
show.
do you use them, Karen?
When I'm assigning an activity, I use them to show the different examples. So there would be like a page, like handouts I would have given them to help them with an art project. I'm putting the different handouts on the different pages, and then like picture examples of a finished project.
Okay, that's a good idea. So as a teacher, you're using that function to kind of show them different examples. Cool.
I also use the multiple pages. Sometimes if you just have one activity on a page, you can just repeat it. So if it's rolling a dice and doing something, you can add several pages so they can do it several times. And that way they're not just, and you can just say either do one if you're comfortable, if you want to challenge, do more, something like that. So that helped.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Anybody else? I'm just going to look at the chat here just in case there's any questions. Oh, Jared, do you guys all see the links? If the links, no? Okay. I will drop them in kind of near the end also. Yes, we'll add them. Do all students need to be approved on permissions in order to, oh, no, good question. So the question was, do students need to have the permissions set to yes for them to be able to see each other's work? No. So the great thing about Seesaw is that regardless of what a student's permission is, they can completely be open and you can allow them to see each other's work because it's a walled garden. The question to ask yourself when you're thinking, is this okay or not, is this like something that the general public could see? And that, am I posting it on Twitter? Am I sending it in an email to like all parents? So that's where it would be a no. But because these are just students in your class and it's fine for them to see each other's faces, work, videos. So that's the same for like Flipgrid, any of these other tools. If it's something that you're not sharing with the general public or posting on the web or sending to all parents, you can use them completely. That's a good question. If you change from seeing each other's work to not seeing each other's work, it says that it will sign each student out. Does that mean everyone will need a new code? Well, hopefully you're using sign in with Google. If you're using sign in with Google, no, they just sign back in with their Google account. I think it's so that it will take away the view of all the other students. That's why it's signing them out. So if you're using a code though, probably not. I think it's just making them re-sign in. Can you comment and send back and they will see the comment? Yes. Okay, is there a way to make an audio comment on student submission from the computer, or is that limited to using the app from a phone? No, I'm doing it on a computer. Can you guys see my screen right now? I'm gonna make a comment and I have the option on a computer to leave a voice comment. So yes, that is an option. numerous test students. I have all these like test accounts that we have in the info services department just to like test all kinds of stuff. So if you're looking for a test account, just send me an email and let me know, and we can probably figure something out. Okay, I'm going to move on now to activities, because the activities is one of the best things about Seesaw. Let's see, I'm going to flip back to my teacher screen here. Okay. All right, so with our new premium subscription, we see now this school and district option. So this is one of the most awesome things that I want to make sure everybody knows about. So if you click on school and district, you can see that across our whole district, 179 different activities have been shared so far. And you can filter in several different ways. So let's say I want to just see, what's one? I think Kilmer might have been sharing some. So I want to see just what Kilmer teachers have been posting. So I can click on that. Kilmer teachers have posted 15 activities. So I can see Lori Stanley has posted some, Pat's posted some. I can also, I think Frost has some. And so regardless of what school you're associated with, you can get all of these. So if a teacher has made their activity accessible through the district library, you can see teachers that aren't even in your school. And then you can post, you can sort by a school and a subject and a grade level. It's really cool. And one thing that's also really neat that I want to make sure I show you is Ellie specifically has posted a bunch of stuff in Spanish. Ellie Arnold from Frost. So in Seesaw, there aren't a whole lot of Spanish language activities just kind of out there. So Ellie Arnold from Frost has really been creating a bunch and making them kind of accessible to everyone. So if I want to, the best way to search for those Spanish activities is if you click world languages. That's how she's tagged them. And so there's 66 activities in here you can see in our district for world languages, and they're pretty much all created by Ellie and they're all in Spanish. So if you're someone that needs activities in Spanish, please make sure you check out her activities because they are really fantastic. Okay, and then something else with activities, let's say you find one that you like, whether it's in our district or in the community, like all Seesaw people that are posting to the general community. I can heart it and that'll put it in my library. I can go ahead and assign it immediately. Or let's say it's not exactly how I want it, or there's like a different template I want to use. I can actually click these three dots and click copy and edit. And so I can change the title. I could add my own voice instructions. Ellie always adds voice instructions, which is really cool. I could add a different example and then I can save it. So now I have created my own kind of tweaked version of her activity. So in Seesaw, you really almost never have to reinvent the wheel, which is fantastic. And then let's say I do do something with an activity and I want to make sure it's shared. I can click the three dots. And so the way that you share it to the district library is you click share activity and then you click share where it says share to school and district libraries. So I really encourage you guys to consider doing that because everybody then will have access to it. And that's just like makes everybody's kind of lives easier. And it's just a really great way to share what you're doing. So then you would just click share. You can also select teachers to email or get a link and send your activity in a link that way. Okay. Any questions or comments about activities?
Alicia?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Dara.
Hi.
When I go on to my activities area on Seesaw and I pull down schools and district, it only shows District 21 and my anchor school. And when you pulled it down, it showed them all.
Really?
I don't know if I'm the only one.
Interesting. what, do you have the option to click Wheeling Community Consolidated School District 21?
Just that, yeah.
And you only see your anchor schools, your anchor school?
Right. I mean, I can see that there's 173 District 21 activities, but it doesn't
Yeah.
let me search by school.
I see. Maybe I might have, because I'm connected to all the schools as an administrator, basically. So maybe that's why I have that. But do you, like, even if you can't sort by school, can you see all the activities? Yeah, you guys, I see some nodding. So, okay.
Yeah.
So you might not be able to sort by school like I did, but you can sort by subject and grade level and all of that. So you should still be able to see all the activities, just not in that exact filtered way that I was able to.
Yeah, I don't think we'll need to. I just was curious if I was not on the right area or something. Thank you.
No, I think yes, yes. Anything else about activities?
How do you get the school and district tab? I don't have that on mine.
Trisha, okay. You might not be connected then. You're at Whitman, right?
Yes.
Okay. You will you send me an email or a hangout separately, Trisha, and I'll just look and make sure that you're connected to Whitman.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Because that could be why.
Okay.
Anything else?
Alicia, I have a question about adding a template for students to work on.
Okay.
I feel like that's an area of Seesaw that I struggle with. Like when I look through these school and districts, are these, for example, Ellie Arnold's, are these pictures something that she's dragging in from another site? She's not creating them on Seesaw, right? She's dragging them in.
Yeah, so she might have created them on Google Draw or Google Slides or something else. And then, but she might have created them. Let me think about this.
I just think it's tricky with the templates, and it doesn't seem like there's a multiple page for that. So for example, I was trying to give my students a template to take a picture of their work and then add a voiceover or comment to it and answer questions. And there like wasn't a way to do those three things. They could take the picture and add the caption or voiceover, but there was nowhere then to add in like my questions for them to just write underneath the answers to them. Do you have any idea how to do something like that?
If anybody else has an idea, or has
like for
done
students
that
to do more of a guided response, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
Using the Seesaw tools. Like you can add in your own document and have them circle it or highlight it or draw on top of it. But it's like they can't have access to the Seesaw tools and sort of respond to prompts.
But if your questions are, maybe your questions that they have to respond to are in the instructions.
Right.
And then
how I end up doing it. Right.
Yeah.
And then just
really
remind them that they can click on that at the top. But
yeah, I think that's probably how you would have to do it, because they're creating, like each of them is creating a new thing, like a new photo and then adding in. So there's no way then I think to superimpose anything over that you have shared.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just curious if people are using the template for them to add in their response. I don't see a lot as I'm scanning through here, so maybe other people aren't using them either.
I do feel like people use templates. Yeah.
I'm using the templates, but it's difficult. Sometimes they type it and there's like a text box around it, and sometimes they handwrite it. Sometimes they're just writing it on paper and taking a picture and showing it to me, which is fine too. There doesn't seem to be one easy way to do that part. And I have another, I don't want to cut you off, but how do you add an activity to the district? Because I've created many activities, which, you know, I'm happy to share, but I don't know how to put it on the district one.
Great. So yeah, you would just go into your library, and anything that you've created, you just click on it, and then, well, oh, I just clicked on a person, I think. So just click on the activity and then the three dots, and then share. And then share to school and district libraries. Something else that I want to definitely highlight with activities too is if you one thing that they have now is called a sample student. Sample student is really great because usually before, if you had an activity, it would be impossible really to demonstrate to students what it looks like to do it, or for you yourself to just test it without like a test student. So let's say you're in your activities, this is an activity I've assigned. I can click add response. And again, I'm a teacher here. And I can say, I want to add a response as the sample student. And so now I actually will get to do the exact activity that I want my students to do. So some ideas for you is you could record this in a screencastify. You could show yourself doing these steps that you want students to do and remind them. You can view instructions by clicking that link at the top or listen to them. And then maybe you do your own example and record it and then share the recording with students, or you just make whatever it is that you're supposed to make within your sample students. So then you have like a finished product that you can show them, or you can just try it as a teacher to see how it works. Okay, I'm going to move on just next to announcements. So if you click add, you can click send announcement, and you can send to all your students, all your family members, or students and family members. And you can type, and then you can also add attachments, photos, and all of that. So I know some people have started using this for the way that they send classroom newsletters, things like that. If you are interested in adding families, you would click, click your wrench here, click plus families, and you do have to turn on family access. You can send it by email. You could send it paper links. Paper printouts were kind of ideal, but obviously that's not an option at the moment. So you can share an invite link, or you can email people directly if you still need to connect your families. Let's see. Also, all of the principals at your buildings are now Seesaw administrators, and so are instructional coaches. So if you ever want to say, hey, principal, go in and look at my class and see this most recent activity, or hey, instructional coach, take a look at what I did with this math activity. What do you think? So both of those people have access to all classes. So you can feel free to have them take a look if you want to. So I think that was pretty much all of the information that I wanted to share. So I'm going to drop some of these links into the chat. To the YouTube channel and the info services website. So why don't you, if you want to share some things you've been doing, that would be great. I see some PE teachers in there. They've been doing some amazing things. So if they care to share, that would be great. Or any questions?
We'd love to hear from George at this time. George has kind of been the guy that spearheaded using this format back several months ago. And at first, I thought he was crazy. I thought, George, you're nuts. And as it turned out, he turned out to be a savior, and kind of guided everybody down the path, and has done a wonderful job. So, George, thank you. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. I think obviously the PE team as a whole district, we've been kind of meeting and doing our online chats and everything like that. And I think who really did some great was I think it was Ralph Cook was the first one that did the Beat the Teacher Challenge. I don't know if any of you have seen that, but what we've been doing in PE is making videos at home of just skills that we do in PE, and then having kids compete against us. And we're having teachers show to other schools, like Ralph might be doing his Beat the Teacher Challenge, and we post it on our Twain page or anything like that. So I know, sometimes you guys have a lot to do as classroom teachers, but maybe that might be a fun way to get kids, a little brain break or anything like that, where they can, maybe do something against you, who can complete the math problems the fastest or whatever it may be. I'm not really sure. But yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention too is I know we've just gotten this document of learning targets for April and May from the curriculum department. And so one thought I had was those learning targets are specific skills and things like that. So you could search the community library in Seesaw for some of those keywords, and more likely than not, there will be activities that address some of those specific learning targets that you could use when you're doing each week's target activities.
I have a quick question for maybe anyone who has Seesaw set up for like a grade level, because I teach music. So like, for example, a 5th grade Seesaw music, and they have it twice a week and they go in there. Is there any way to, like, for the kids to differentiate which lesson they're supposed to do on what day? Because maybe they're going in there and they see like 3 activities because the other 5th grade got it assigned to them 2 days earlier. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it correctly, but like one 5th grade class has music on A day and the other 5th grade class has music on B day. And they're going in there and seeing the previous assignment. How do you guys label them? And no worries if no one has an idea. I'm just curious.
Dara, you're kind of asking from a classroom teacher's perspective how they label specials each day?
No, like, for example, like a gym teacher who has 1st grade gym all in one Seesaw, like all 5 classes, and they're all going in there.
I think you can, I schedule out assignments at certain times. So I think you can schedule out and edit and like send it to specific kids at different times. And then if you schedule one at like 9 a.m. Tuesday, then you schedule the same thing, but you want it to come out Thursday at 2 p.m. I don't know. That's what I've been doing to send out different assignments at different times.
That
Could
makes
you
sense.
also
So
set
then,
up a different folder for each of your sections?
yeah, I think I could do that too. Click on the folder and assign it by the folder, maybe.
Yeah, and
I
then
think-
schedule it like Sarah said.
Well, I think
Okay.
that another thing you could do is when you post your lesson, you could write, this is for A day, this is for B day, this is for C day, so it has it directly in their instructions.
Okay.
If you did that, that might help them to understand better, like, okay, this is the A day lesson, here's my B day lesson, here's my C day lesson kind of thing.
Right. In the future, when, you know, might do this separately by class, but this is what I chose, my path this year. Thank you, guys.
Anything else? Questions?
I have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
When sending out announcements, is there a way to send to multiple classes at once? I know you can for like activities, but for like PE, we have, you know, multiple classes. Some of us are at multiple schools, and sending out all those announcements separately can be kind of a hassle.
That is a good question. And my thought is no, I don't think so. I think you can only send an announcement from within the actual class itself.
Okay.
But yeah, so if anybody knows anything different, let me know, but I don't think so. I think you have to do it individual classes. You
Okay.
could copy in like a template, obviously,
Yeah.
like if there's the same text and just paste it into all of the different classes, but I think you might have to initiate it in each class.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's what I've been, sorry.
That's what I've been doing as well, is just cutting and pasting the text so that I can put it in multiple classes.
Or what I'm doing is I'm doing a video announcement, but I'll video on my phone and then I'll save it in my drive. So then I'm attaching it with each class. It saves some time, but it would be a nice feature if you could send the same announcement to all the classes, but I guess that's not possible.
And I also just want to say, you might be wondering what's the status of Seesaw for Schools for next year, and that is a kind of up in the air still. Obviously, we have this wonderful free upgraded trial through the rest of this school year, so we're looking at options. It's budget time now, so I'm really hopeful that we can continue this. It's not a guarantee, but I know that many people now are using it across the district. So as soon as we know, I will let you guys know. But hopefully we'll be able to continue our access to it in the future. Because then it does allow students, if you have the upgraded version, it allows students to keep their portfolio with them from year to year, which obviously is kind of the idea of a portfolio. But that's definitely a premium function feature. Anything else anybody wants to mention? We're doing this again at 2 p.m. today, and then this will be recorded. This is being recorded and will be posted on the YouTube channel under the Seesaw playlist. We've got Seesaw playlist. It'll also be on the Tech Slam playlist. So the Tech Slam playlist has all previous playlists that we've had Tech Slams for in the middle school and in the elementary school. If you have any requests for like future Tech Slam topics, let me know. Tuesday, hopefully, is going to be Zoom. So we're really hoping that that'll be up and ready and we can do one of these on Zoom. And then Charlie Fabricant is going to guest star and do one on Pear Deck next Thursday. So we also all have premium access to the premium Pear Deck version. So if you're interested in talking about Pear Deck, that'll be coming next Thursday. So the links to the CPDU form is in the chat. If you forget or need it, just email me later, and also the YouTube and the Info Services website. So thanks everybody for coming, and good luck. Email me or send me a hangout anytime. I'm just always here to help you. So thank you.
Alicia, I had a really quick question.
Sure.
If I can.
Of course.
So I was trying to upload a Google slide, and I wanted to do that in an announcement. But when you do that in an announcement, it wants it to change to the PDF form. So if you have any live links in there, it doesn't allow you to do that. So do you just have to put a Google slide in like a activity and then send that as the announcement, or how does that work?
Well, could you just do it as a link? Just put the.
So I tried doing it as a link, and it says you have to go to your Google Drive to do that. And then when you, like, I created a website, it'll let me upload the website, but it won't let me do a specific Google slide or document. It tells me that I have to go through Google Drive, and then it wants to change it to a PDF.
What if you, actually, let me see if I can find a slideshow here. What if you go to your Drive, copy the link.
Okay.
And then go, what? 5 million tabs open, give me 1 second. Okay. Then go and paste it in.
Okay, I'll have to try that and see if it works that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Add attach item.
Okay, so just go directly into the Drive, get shareable link, and then paste it into the link there.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll see if that works, because it was not working for me. It kept saying I had to go through the Drive, but then when I clicked on the Drive and tried to select it, it says that needed to change it to PDF form.
Yeah, because it's probably like, oh, she wants to attach this. Well,
right.
If you want to attach it, it changes to a PDF. But yeah, I think you get the link first.
Okay.
Then go and do the link and then paste it in there. And I can see here it says it's a link. So that should solve that issue.
Hi, Alicia. It's Rachel Keckstead.
Hey, Rachel.
I wanted to ask you, like Dara had said, and I think a lot of the specials teachers have set up grade level bands. And I have also done that. And now that we went back to the letter day schedule, I'm only seeing certain groups of children. So again, that is causing a little confusion. If I post an activity and some kids don't currently have art right now, then they're like, why do I have to do this? So is it possible to move kids into new groups with that? Like, can I do that and set up it by classroom, or would they have to join with a new code?
Yeah, do you have them sign in with Google, Rachel?
Yes.
Yeah. So you could set up new, like you were thinking of setting up new classes.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a lot of work, but dragging them into a new group so that I could break them up by classroom now, because I don't want to have to go through the process with them again.
Right. So I think you will have, and this is what I'm thinking you would have to do. So you would have to go in and click manage students, and then you would have to go through and remove anybody that is not in your, like in that class, right? So you'd remove all the kids that should be in the other class you're going to create. And then you would create your new class, and then you would have to share then the new code with those students that are going to be in the new class.
Okay. I was hoping there was a way for me to just kind of move them without having to have them rejoin.
Right. I do not believe so, especially if you have them sign in with Google. They have to initiate it, like they have to initiate the joining. If you were doing like a QR code or something, then you would just give them the new QR code, but that's not how we're having them sign in. So I do think that that's what you're going to have to do, unfortunately.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think I'll just end up keeping it this way, and then next year I learned my lesson.
Well, this year is so strange because we've had all these, different setups, right, of classes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? Feel free to ask me questions. I'll just stay here until the last person's left. Anything else?
Is there any limit to the number of classes a student can be enrolled in either the free or the premium version?
Jared, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think students, like I am a student in a few different classes, but I think I could be, like right now I'm in 3 different classes, but I think I could keep adding.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder why that villager was eating in my house.
Anything else? All right. Well, thanks everybody. Contact me anytime, and enjoy the lovely sunny day.
Thank you.
Thank you.